Sabbath
Shalom, Israel.
restrictions.
So someone asked, according to the laws of the Sabbath, are we able to cook that day or is it a day of fasting? Sabbath bans were never clearly defined, pinpointing every restriction. But depending on the Jewish laws and the traditions or any type of Judaic observances that you keep will set rules and routines. But Sabbath restrictions go as far as you set them. Scriptures say that Sabbath was made for the man and not man for the Sabbath, and that Yeshua is Lord of the Sabbath. Sabbath is not a miserable affair. You don't have to sit in the dark wondering what you can and cannot do. It would be helpful to make preparations beforehand and get all your work done before sundown. But if that's not possible, don't fret. You can cook on Sabbath. You can turn your stove on, you can turn your lights on, you can make a fire. Traditionally, you couldn't do those things. Women wasn't even allowed in the kitchen or even allowed to touch the scrolls, especially during their monthly because they were considered unclean. Men weren't even allowed to hunt or carry firewood. And in some Jewish traditions today, they don't even use the elevators. There were even certain objects that could not be used because of Torah prohibitions, like a hammer or a saw. And even in some traditions, you couldn't carry anything on the Sabbath. Yeshua demonstrated that keeping strict prohibitions to the Sabbath law has ended, and that his new work in the age of redemption has begun. When his disciples were walking through the grain fields and they were hungry, they plucked the ears of corn and they ate. The Pharisees had a problem with this. They pointed out to Yeshua what his disciples were doing on the Sabbath was unlawful. Yeshua pointed out that even David and his companions, when they were hungry on the Sabbath, ate the consecrated bread that was set aside for the priests to eat, which at that time was considered to be unlawful. But Yeshua said, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. He even demonstrated that if you had a sheep and it fell into the pit, wouldn't you pull it out? So then how much more valuable is a person over a sheep? Then he goes on to say, therefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. So you see, many Sabbath restrictions have been lifted thanks to Yeshua. The Sabbath is for your enjoyment, but even so, some restrictions still remain. The Sabbath is a day of rest from ordinary work, but you can still heal and do good on the Sabbath. Rest, replenish, and enjoy yourself. Traditionally, no work is done, but if you're hungry and you need to fix yourself something to eat, by all means, make yourself something to eat. And no, you don't have to fast. The Most High wants you to eat food and enjoy yourself. Fast on the high Sabbath like Day of Atonement.